Hello, everybody. The Golden Boy Greg Anthony here, and today we are talking about now versus then. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard this over the last 10, 15 years, or maybe even you've said it yourself, but I'm hearing a lot of people say that today's wrestling is better than it's ever been before. If you hear someone say this, then they've either one, they weren't alive during the then, or they haven't done enough research on this subject. So let me kind of break it down for you right now. There are many companies within the wrestling world right now. We've got WWE, we got AEW, we got MLW, we got New Japan, we got NWA, we got all these different companies. But the fact of the matter is, there was once upon a time in this country where we had over 30 territories, and each one of those territories made buku amounts of money. It means there was 30 places for a professional wrestler to go and make a living at any point in time. Now, people will say, well, there's so much money involved. WWE makes a lot of money. AEW makes a lot of money. But let's look at some of the lower things like MLW and NWA and guys like that. If you don't believe me, go pick this up right here. This is Jim Cornette's book on the Midnight Express. Now, as most of you know, I tagged with beautiful Bobby Eaton for 2 years. He was a friend, and he's actually the one that gave me this book. Now, this book, if you go through it, you will see how much professional wrestling has changed. In this book, it talks about what they drew and how much money they made as the Midnight Express in the early 80s. And when you look at the numbers are astonishing. If you're an independent wrestler and you think professional wrestling is better now than it was back then I please urge you to get this book, because you're going to see that Jim Cornette talks about things like them going to one house show that drew 700 people, and it was one of the worst shows of the year. He talked about how that territory or that town was dying because there was only 700 people there. If we drew 700 paid for an independent wrestling event now, that's one of the best independent wrestling events in the country. And that's just one of my. Memphis, Tennessee, for instance. Memphis, Tennessee, we drew between 7,000 to 10,000 people every Monday night to the Mid-South Coliseum. Remember what Cody and the Young Bucks tried to do a couple years ago? Their whole thing was someone other than WWE drawing a 10,000 people house. And that's exactly what Memphis did every Monday night, just about. And that was happening across territories all across the country. So if you think professional wrestling is better now than it was then, please do your research and look at the money and look at the houses these guys were drawing. The fact of the matter is, there's no measurable metric to say that professional wrestling is better now than it was then. Once again, for the Golden Boy Greg Anthony, God bless, over and out.